The strongest person you know probably cries more than you think. Not because they're weak, because they're brave enough to feel everything. Today I'm sharing Brené Brown's groundbreaking research on vulnerability that flips everything you thought you knew about strength upside down. Welcome back to Major Inspiration, where we challenge old beliefs and unlock new possibilities. For decades, we've been taught that strength means not crying, not showing emotion, not being vulnerable. Brené Brown, a research professor who spent 20 years studying courage, shame, and vulnerability, discovered something that shocked the world. The people living the most courageous, wholehearted lives aren't the ones hiding their emotions. They're the ones willing to be seen completely and honestly. They're the ones brave enough to cry. In this video, I'm breaking down why vulnerability is actually strength, why the armor you're wearing is destroying you, and why strong people cry more than weak people. And stick around until the end because I'll tell you where to find part 2, where I reveal how to actually practice vulnerability and transform your life. The great misunderstanding about strength. Let's talk about what we got wrong. Society taught us strength looks like this: jaw clenched, emotions locked down, never letting them see you sweat, especially men. Big boys don't cry. Toughen up. Don't be so sensitive. But here's what Brene Brown discovered through thousands of interviews. That's not strength, that's armor. And armor is heavy. Think about someone wearing medieval armor. Sure, they're protected, but they're also slow, limited, and exhausted. They can't run, can't dance, can't embrace anyone without hurting them. That's what emotional armor does to us. Real strength isn't pretending you don't have feelings. Real strength is feeling everything and choosing to show up anyway. It's saying, I'm scared and doing it regardless. It's crying when you need to and still moving forward. Brene Brown says vulnerability is not weakness, it's our most accurate measure of courage. Because it takes zero courage to hide. It takes everything to be seen. The people we admire most, they're not the ones who never fall apart. They're the ones who fall apart and put themselves back together in front of us. Why strong people cry more? Here's the paradox that changes everything. The strongest people cry more because they're connected to their emotions, not disconnected from them. Let me tell you about Michael, a former Marine and CEO. For years, he prided himself on never showing emotion. He was the rock everyone leaned on. Then his father died. He didn't cry at the funeral, didn't cry at work, kept it together for months, until one day his daughter asked him why he seemed so far away, and he broke. He sobbed in her arms and realized he'd been so busy being strong that he'd become numb. He wasn't protecting his family from his pain, he was protecting himself from feeling anything at all. When Michael finally allowed himself to grieve, something shifted. He didn't become weaker, he became more present, more compassionate, better at his job because he could finally connect with his team authentically. Brené Brown's research shows that people who embrace vulnerability have stronger relationships, more creativity, and greater resilience. Not despite their emotions because of them. They cry when they're sad, they express joy fully, they feel anger and use it constructively. Strong people cry more because they're brave enough to feel more. The armor we wear and why it's killing us. Now here's where it gets real. Brené Brown identified 3 main types of armor we use to protect ourselves from vulnerability. Let's see if you recognize yourself. Armor type 1, perfectionism. You believe if you can just be perfect enough, you won't be criticized, rejected, or hurt. You obsess over every detail. You can't send the email until it's flawless. You can't start the project until conditions are perfect. You can't show your work until it's beyond criticism. But perfectionism is a 20-ton shield. It's exhausting to carry and impossible to maintain. Behind it, you're not safe, you're suffocating. And here's the brutal truth. Perfectionism doesn't actually protect you from judgment. It just guarantees you'll judge yourself more harshly than anyone else ever could. Armor type 2, numbing. Can't handle uncomfortable emotions? Numb them. Scroll through social media for hours, binge watch shows, overwork, drink, shop, eat. Anything to avoid feeling what you're feeling. Problem is, you can't selectively numb. Brené Brown's research proves this. When you numb pain, you also numb joy. When you numb fear, you also numb excitement. When you numb sadness, you also numb love. You can't kill the dark without killing the light. That's why people who constantly distract themselves feel empty. They're not actually living, they're just avoiding death. There's a difference. Armor type 3, foreboding joy. This is the sneakiest one. Something good happens, and instead of enjoying it, you immediately imagine how it could be taken away. Your child is healthy, and you think about illness. Your business is thriving, and you brace for failure. Your relationship is good, and you wait for the other shoe to drop. You're living in disaster rehearsal, thinking it'll soften the blow if bad things happen. It won't, it just ruins your joy. Brené Brown calls this the most common form of armor. We're so afraid of being blindsided by tragedy that we refuse to fully feel happiness. The cost of your armor, here's what all three types of armor have in common. They isolate you. When you're perfectionistic, people can't get close because you won't let them see your mess. When you're numbing, people can't reach you because you're not actually present. When you're in foreboding joy, people can't celebrate with you because you're already grieving losses that haven't happened. The armor you think is protecting you is actually the thing destroying your connections. People can't connect with your armor, they can only connect with you, and you're hiding behind steel walls, wondering why you feel so alone. Michael, the Marine CEO, realized he'd built an empire but lost his family in the process. Not because they left, because he was unreachable. His armor made him successful but kept him lonely. And loneliness, according to research, is as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Your armor isn't protecting your life, it's slowly ending it here. What vulnerability actually is. Before we wrap up part 1, let's be clear about what vulnerability is and isn't. Vulnerability is not oversharing. It's not crying to your barista or posting every feeling on social media. That's not vulnerability, that's a boundary issue or attention seeking. Vulnerability is showing your authentic self to people who've earned the right to hear your story. It's honest conversations with safe people. It's admitting, I don't know, or I need help, or I'm scared. It's Michael finally telling his daughter, I miss grandpa so much it hurts. It's the CEO admitting to his team, I don't have all the answers and I need your input. It's you telling your friend, I'm not okay right now. Brené Brown says vulnerability is uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. It's showing up when you can't control the outcome. It's trying even when you might fail. It's loving even when you might lose. And it's the birthplace of everything we want: connection, creativity, courage, joy. So here's where we are. You now understand that strength isn't about never crying, it's about being brave enough to feel. You know the three types of armor destroying your life: perfectionism, numbing, and foreboding joy. And you know that armor isolates you from the very connections that make life worth living. But here's what you don't know yet. How do you actually practice vulnerability without oversharing? How do you take off the armor without feeling completely exposed? And what does life look like on the other side? That's exactly what I cover in part 2 of this series. I break down Brene Brown's practical steps for embracing vulnerability, the vulnerability paradox that keeps you stuck, and the real transformation stories of people who had the courage to be imperfect. If this video resonated with you, hit that like button right now and subscribe to Major Inspiration. Then head straight to part 2. The link is in the description and in the end card. Don't stop here. The transformation happens in part 2. Drop a comment below. Which armor do you wear most? Perfectionism, numbing, or foreboding joy? Let's be honest with each other. Remember, you're not weak for having armor. You're human, but you're strong enough to take it off. See you in part 2. Until then, keep inspiring yourself to greatness.